Hi, my name is Sarah Hall, and today I will be talking and discussing the random walk theory. What I will be discussing today is the random walk theory. The random walk theory is the idea that the stock market is completely random and cannot be predicted using the past trends of stock prices. This random walk theory agrees with the concept of the efficient market theory. Efficient market theory is saying the exact same thing, that the stock market is efficient and cannot be predicted using past prices. One of the most iconic experimenters on the random walk theory is Burton Malkiel. Based on his experiments and his research, he wrote a book called A Random Walk on Wall Street. What he did basically in his experiments is he conducted a coin toss for an extended period of time. The results of the coin toss determined, he used it to make a stock chart. So what he did was, if the coin landed on heads for the day, he would have the stock price increase. And if the coin landed on tails for the day, he would have the stock price decrease. He then configured all of this data he collected during his experiment and turned into a stock chart, like I said previously. He then took the stock chart into someone who could analyze it, and this person determined that this person ensured that they could determine the future of the stock based on the past results. Malkiel questions this person's ideas, though, because this wasn't even an actual stock. This was just merely a coin flip that was completely random. I then decided to take this research into my own hands. So Malkiel did his work, and I decided to do my own. I decided to look at the stock of General Electric. So what I did in my research is I used Yahoo Finance, to kind of gain data on the past 250 closing prices for the stock. What I then did is I analyzed it further. So basically I'm going to start with a little bit of vocab here. So what a run is in finance is if stock price increases from one day to the next, so that's an increase in the stock price. And then if it increases from the next day to the day after, then that would be considered a run. So there's two consecutive increases in a row between these days, or if it was two consecutive decreases between the days, that would be considered a run. So when it increases and it increases again, and it increases even more, it only just happened twice, that's considered a run. Same with decreases. Okay, so I looked at the past 250 closing prices of the GE stock, and I found that there's a 52% chance that there was no run within the stock prices. There's about a 48% chance that there was a run. So to me, it seems like it's kind of 50-50 chance that there will be a run or not. If it will continue to increase, if it will continue to decrease. Okay, I then further analyzed this data I collected, and I found the differences between the days. To simplify my research and make it a little bit more easier to understand, I'm going to go ahead and you can go ahead and pretend like I only looked at the differences between 3 days. So pretend like I just have 3 days of research data here from the GE stock. So what I did first is I found the difference between day 1 to day 2. So the first day to the second day. I found the difference of that. What I then did next was I found the difference between the second day to the third day. So there I was able to see if it was a run or not, and I was able to see how much ended up decreasing between the 2 days, and the first day and the second day, and the second day to the third day. Alright, so I have all these differences. I have the difference between the first day and the second day. That's my first difference. And then I have the difference between the second day and the third day. That's my second difference. So then within my research, I decided to do a regression. So what a regression does, it determines if one variable is dependent on a first variable. So what I did, so what the random walk theory is questioning and saying is not true, random walk theory is saying that this second difference between the second day and the third day, has no correlation to the difference that actually occurred within the first day to the second day. So I ran a regression on these differences I found. So I used the first difference as the independent variable and the second difference as the dependent variable. So how regression works is what my regression was testing was if this random walk theory is not true. If my regression received results of a 5% significance or less, that proved the random walk theory is not true. That would be as if my data was supporting that the stock market is not efficient. And if the significance is over 5%, that would be in support of the random walk theory. That would be saying that they are not correlated between the two. So basically what I found with it. Okay, so what I found in my regression was that the significance level was over 65%. So remember, it had to be under 5% for the random walk theory to not be true. So by finding the 65% significance, that was proving that these two variables and these two differences basically were not very correlated at all. I then went ahead and furthered my research by doing the same process and the same regression on the Dow Jones average or industry average. I also took the last 250 closing prices of these industry averages, and I ran the regression on them as well. My results for this regression was that the significance level was close to 98%, so that means that these two were barely correlated at all. That is very much in the support of the random walk theory. Okay, so in summary, judging off the research I did with both General Electric and Dow Jones industry average stock prices, I found that the random walk theory was true, that the independent variable and the dependent variables were not very correlated at all. So what I can use from these results is I can say that in my research I found that the prices, whether they increase or decrease, were very independent of each other. They pretty much had no effect on each other at all. If anything, there's more of a 50-50% chance. All of this research that I found today is very much in support of A Random Walk Down Wall Street, the book written by Malkiel. So yeah, thank you for listening and have a nice day.